Okay, so since Unit 1, we've been using terminal, right? What is terminal? Terminal basically allows us to do CLI, right? Command line interface interactions with the operating system. Pre-Catalina, before Catalina, let's zoom in here. Before Catalina, before macOS Catalina, the shell that terminal used was called bash, right? What's a shell, we ask? A shell is basically our gateway or the way we communicate with the operating system, right? We go to terminal, we want to create a new directory, we say mkdir, correct? This is using bash, right? Same as using ZSH. The default command line interface to communicate with macOS before Catalina, right, was bash. As of Catalina, as of the newest macOS, as of last year, Catalina uses what's known as Z shell or ZSH, okay? This is what we use in terminal right now. We go to terminal if we're using some sort of command line tool to communicate, whether it be GitHub, creating a file, opening a file, whatever we're doing in terminal. Right now we are using ZSH. That's the user interface. If you want to communicate with some program, you want to open a program, you need to communicate with that program, right? Yes, you could use Siri and say, hey, Siri, do something. Right? Yes, sir.
Everyone who updated from the previous OS to Catalina still has bash.
To Catalina?
Yes.
Okay, so we could install ZSH on it, which is fine, but I have ZSH on my computer. I could put it in your computer, right? Cool? So Catalina comes with ZSH by default there. You could go into ZSH from terminal if you have bash on there. So some of the tools we'll take a look at, or some of the commands we'll take a look at, is how to access, how to know what shell you're in, and how to access different shells. But the big objective of today is how can we make terminal better? How can we make it more friendlier, especially when we're dealing with Git right now? Because what branch are we on? We have to do get branch. So the big objective for me today is basically to get us to know what branch we're on without having to get branch, right? If we have one thing we take away from today is to know what branch I'm on at every point in my Git exposure. Does that make sense? Because right now, anytime we have to know what branch we're on, we have to say get branch, correct? Okay, cool. So let's now navigate over. Everybody has access to this document, correct? Yes? Okay, let's now navigate over, keep that document open. Let's navigate over to our terminal. Let me make this bigger here. Can we see in the back here? All right. Cool. Okay, so the command to know what shell you have, and again, the shell is that user interface, the way you communicate with the operating system in terminal, shell. The way to know that is to simply type in echo $shell. That's the command. And I have the command on the docs as well as we navigate here. So this command here, echo shell, find out what's your default shell. The big ones are bash and ZSH. Okay? If we go back here, we press enter. I'm on ZSH. I see on my second line here, there's a / bin directory / ZSH. So it tells me that I'm on the Z shell interface. What do we have? We have bash, right? So here, we could go back and we could change the shell we're on. To change the shell, CHSH, change shell.
Is everybody supposed to have bash?
Yes, as Ahad was pointing out, if you're not coming from a new computer with Catalina, you upgraded, bash was before, you automatically have bash over.
I have
ZSH you have? Okay. If you have ZSH, that's fine. If you're on bash, we'll go over to bash. So basically the command we'll be doing, you could go back and forth, depending on what you prefer. Everybody? Cool. So let's go ahead and change it. So change shell. Well, I'm not gonna change mine, but bin ZSH here. and press enter. So that's the command. Change shell /bin/zsh, and then run the command we wrote before, echo shell, and you should now have bin/zsh, correct?
Unknown user.
Facts. CHSH.
Unknown user.
Unknown user.
There's a command for it just on the top of the screen. If you load bash, it just tells you how to do it. Give it a second. Did you guys have it? That didn't work. Did your password thing come out? Type in your password? Sure. Try it again. And also close it after it and see the results that ZSH or what it did. So I waited.
We're missing a flag on this.
And there's no feedback if that's what you're waiting for. Typing.
No, I checked my shelf.
Okay, we're missing a command. There's, oh, am I still streaming? Yes. We're missing a command here, a flag. Put a flag here. I need to update the docs. So update your command, change shell space -s space /bin/zsh. Press enter, and then run echo shell again.
Is it for password?
I did it for you already.
Oh. No, but it says,
Password for your computer.
it's still not.
Did it work here?
How do I put the password?
It still shows.
It says no changes made.
Close the middle and reopen it. Close the middle and reopen. Yeah, you just got to close it. Close and reopen.
I just saw it on the screen when I opened it.
Guys, make sure we close and reopen. Yeah, close terminal and reopen terminal.
Mine still says BIN.
Close the terminal and reopen.
It says BIN.
Yeah, you're good, you're good. CSH is going well.
But it was there.
Alright, cool. Okay. After we do the command close terminal and reopen, and you should, if you do echo shell, you should be on ZSH. Cool? Excelente. Again, this is what we're looking for. /bin/zsh or ZSH. Cool? Next up, let us go ahead and go to, please everybody navigate to the document I slacked out. Go to the bottom of the commands. We have a bunch of commands here. Go to the command that says install omyzsh on framework. Go to one that says install omyzsh framework. This is a ZHH framework, right? It comes with a lot of tools, example, a theme, plugins. There's a vast range of tools you could add to your command line, make it a better experience. But we're just touching the surface very lightly here. I have reading resources. You could go deeper in and really customize the experience. But for now, the default experience is enough to get us started. So go here, copy. Do we see the sh command here on the left here? Double click on that command, copy it. Double click on the command, copy it. Command C. Double click that entire command from sh all the way to the last quote. Copy. Go over to terminal, paste it, and press enter. In terminal, paste it and press enter.
It's now installed.
It doesn't matter where you are. Doesn't matter where you are. Right? Already the experience is different, right? So, navigate to any folder, for example, your group project folder. Navigate to your group project folder, somewhere there's a GitHub there. In mine, I will
Do we
do.
have to do the same document? Oh.
Okay,
Okay.
look at this. I'm already on master. It tells me I'm on master, right? Whatever branch you're on, it tells you that branch you're on. So please navigate to your group project because there's many branches there, right? So that's already an upgrade from what we had. We agree? We agree?
Yes.
All right, cool. There's a vast amount of things you could change. You could change the theme. I'll show you guys how to access the configuration file. It tells you right here. Do we see this here where it says, please look over? Right? This command here will access to, 1 second guys, let's still stay focused here. I know it's exciting. We'll copy where it says tilde. Do we see tilde /? We see tilde /?
Yeah.
Copy that. This is basically your configuration file for ZSH, where your configuration file lives. To access it, we'll simply go down here and say open. Permission denied. Can we open it by clicking open here? Let me zoom in here. Okay. There's a lot of things we could customize here, right? Basically, offline, we could take a look at this document and see what we could customize. Things we could customize, do we see where it says Robbie Russell? We could change the theme. So if you go to the website, which is also part of the reading resources at the bottom, we could go to, let me navigate over. At the very bottom of the document I sent out, there's the ZSH document on GitHub here. So you would click on that, number 2, and you take a look at the different themes they have. For example, let me just search theme here. So there's a bunch of themes here. If we go to the themes headline on the document, we could change different themes if we want. Okay? There's themes, there's plugins. It comes with get shortcuts. I'll show us what the get shortcuts looks like really quickly. I also have plugins. Do we see number 3 at the very bottom? Number 3. If we click on it, all my ZHH comes with those aliases already. We'll create an alias to know what alias is. But an alias basically is a shortcut. So instead of saying get add, I could simply say GA. Right? Instead of saying a long command like get commit -m, where is it? Instead of saying get commit -m, I could simply say gc message or gc msg. We see that? So we could add our own aliases. I'll show us how to add aliases and I'll stop there. Okay? But get has a lot of commands, and those are the shortcuts that's associated with those commands. All right, let's see what that looks like here. Go back to ZSH here. If I say GST, anybody want to guess what that means? What alias would that be? Get status. Right? Very good. So as you get more familiar with the shortcuts, you could use them as you need. Okay? The documents is there for us to see. Very good. What else I want to show us? The shortcuts, the aliases.
That was in the, yeah, where is that? That's in the public?
In the file I sent us, number 3.
With the custom? What's number 3?
At the very bottom where it says reading resources.
Okay.
Okay, I'll show us one more thing and I'll stop lecture here. Bless you. So again, type out open space tilde / dot zshrc. That accesses our configuration file. Okay, at the very bottom of this configuration file, do we see example aliases? At the very bottom, we see example aliases? Okay, so take a look at how an alias is written. Those aliases here is commented out because it's up to you if you want to use them or not. Very similar to our get ignore. Hashtag is a comment. Everybody? So here, if we want to create an alias, let's create an alias here. For example, we'll start off with the word alias. Well, lowercase alias. And I want to create an alias to my desktop, for example. I say desktop equal to the actual command. So the command to the desktop is cd tilde / desktop.
Oh, we don't put spaces?
No spaces here. So alias is the keyword. Desktop is very similar to when we write our code snippet. Desktop is that alias name. Everybody? Right? Desktop is that alias name. Quotes is the actual terminal command. cd, change directory, tilde to desktop. And at this point, I'll say Command S when I'm done. Command S, Command Q again to exit terminal. Command space, type in terminal, get back to terminal. Zoom in here.
Wait, you said Command S, Command Q.
Command S to save.
Right. Then
Command Q to quit.
Then Command Q again.
Command Q to quit, terminal.
Right. And then open it back up.
And then open it back up. And at this point, if we say desktop here, our alias works. So any place I am, I type in desktop. For example, if I go to documents, desktop, it worked here. I did desktop. I have two desktops. I do desk. Cool. So we created an alias for the desktop. You could create an alias for anything you want to go to really
So I
quickly.
can say alias and then the name of the group project?
You could do that if it's like 5 nests. Exactly. Very good? Yes. Cool? So remember, where do we go to for the configuration file? Where do we go? If you forgot where you go, the configuration file, simply go back to the document I shared out. And this is the command here. Right? After you type it out a couple times, you'll remember it. But basically, open tilde / dot zshrc gets you to your configuration. Once you've changed your configuration file, you save, you quit, open terminal again. Cool?
So this is what we're using from now on.
Yeah, so if you want to uninstall this for some reason, the command is right here. Uninstall omyzsh. Okay, everybody? Cool? The same way you install, you could uninstall.
What's the reason?
Right? But the thing is great, right? If I do ls here, right, it shows me everything that's highlighted is basically a folder. If it's white text, it's a file. Already, it's an upgrade over our basic terminal. But we could go even further and do more customizations. One thing I want to say before I continue, or I stop, please save your configuration file somewhere, if in case you mess it up. The configuration file, like save it in notes or somewhere, right? Because if for some reason we know how things could go wrong there.
Wait, what configuration?
The one where we added the alias.
Okay, so.
Just save the whole file in a document somewhere. That way, if you want to go back to it, for some reason that it's corrupted, cool? Good. Okay, cool. So we are good. This gets us really good with terminal. And again, one thing I want to show us here, if I navigate to New York Times top stories, I press enter, ls, I could do GB, like get branches, GBA. If I'm in this mode here, like if I come here, I don't panic. Let's all do that together. You in your group project, everybody in the group project? Everybody in the group project? Type in GBA. GBA basically is get branch all. So instead of doing get branch dash B, right? I simply say GBA, get all branches, local and remote. I press enter. It takes me into VI. Everybody in VI here at this point? We see all our branches. The reds are, those are on remote, correct? If I want to exit out of here, I simply press Q for quit.
Sorry, what was the command?
GBA, show all branches. At any point in your Oh My ZSH experience and you're in VI, just exit with Q. So GBA, enter. Shows all branches. Right now I only have a master branch. I'm on the master branch right now. And I also have a master remote, which makes sense. But if I want to exit out of here, Q is the command. Okay? Very good. Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you.